Where are you going for your relationship advice? This is a really important question to be asking yourself. And here's why. Because quite frankly, a lot of the people who we turn to for help and advice, especially about relationships, don't have the advice or the experience or the good relationships that we want, right? I mean, think about this. How often or who do you turn to for that advice? Your parents, your siblings, your best friends. But you got to look and you got to ask yourself, do they have the relationship I want? Are they even in a relationship? Can they even get in a relationship? Because I'll tell you personally, I know a lot of people, and I know I've made this mistake in my own past, where I will turn to people who can't even pick up women to begin with. I in the case of guys who are interested in women, um, or I've had friends who don't have good relationships going on, or who haven't had good relationships in the past, and I'll ask them advice, and I mean, realistically, how helpful is that if most of their relationships have been failures? You don't you don't go for car advice on how to fix your car from someone who doesn't know how to fix their own car, or whose car doesn't run well because they can't take care of it, or because they don't take care of it. Um, and the cool thing is this question really doesn't just go for relationships. I mean, it goes for every question you have anytime you're seeking advice. You want to seek advice from people who who you can look at and say, they have the kind of advice I want to get on this topic. Back when I was in high school, I had a best friend who was really good with women, straight up. I mean, he was a smooth talker. Um, and that was despite the fact that he was a short guy. A lot of women don't like short guys, but women love this dude, and he knew how to talk to them and how to attract them. And so I would turn to him for help. But to be honest, I'd never really thought about this question until I read this one book a couple months ago, and it just hit me really hard because I was like, "Wow, how often have I made this mistake myself in my past, where I've sought out help from people who, now that I look at it, definitely probably didn't have very sound advice on it because they didn't really perpetuate what I was looking for themselves in their own life." Um, so that's just something that I want to throw out there. A little bit of advice that I want you guys to really think about and take in, because quite frankly, why would you ask for help from people who who don't know how to get it for themselves, who don't know how to bring about that area of success in their own lives. If you're turning to success, if you're turning with questions, um, of advice from maybe your brother who's never had a good relationship in his life, um, or your best friend who always ends up getting dumped. I mean, honestly, you can pretty much ask yourself, is that what I would want? And is that something that appears is that a person who appears to have sound advice to offer me? Um, and the other thing to be careful of is, a lot of times you'll find a lot of people who want to give you advice on this stuff, right? They'll offer it. They'll be like, "Oh, dude, you're doing that wrong. Oh, hey, be careful. Oh, by the way, I think you should do this. You'll have more success." Again, even if you're not asking the question and people are coming at you with that advice, look at those people's lives. Even if they're your best friend, how sound is that advice on that area? Your best friends are great for a lot of things, but they're not perfect people. Nobody's a perfect person, so they're going to have areas that they're not so knowledgeable in or sharp in. Um, and if that's relationships, then you definitely don't want to be sitting there swallowing up that advice and practicing it in your own life when it's clearly not working for them. So I hope you learned something from this video, and please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.